I'm excited today about doing the plugin stuff. Should probably close out of some stuff here. Yeah. Looks like we're live already. Awesome. Hey, Steven. Good morning. What's up, Camel? Good morning, Pac-Man. Yo, Quad. Good morning, Dave. Shavat. James. Chris. Scott. Thank you, Jim. Charco. Neil. Camel. Hey, Neil K. Stifilus. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. All right. Yes, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited to do the plugin thing. I got a text here. So we are going to be building a plugin, basically. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, guys. I'm excited. So ultimately, the cool plugin I would love to be able to build today is a star rating thing, a star rating control for Big Box. So hopefully that's feasible. We'll see. To do in 3 hours. It's of course feasible, but hopefully we can get it done in 3 hours. We'll see. But before that, I want to do something a little bit simpler, so we'll see how it goes. Vissy, I think we're okay so far, so maybe refresh and see if that fixes it. I don't know. Are we offline, guys? Is everything going fine? Hey, Slip System. That is awesome, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that people are excited about this stuff. It's exciting to me. Hey, Quazzle, Omen, you're free until they get the internet back at the office. That's awesome. That's perfect, Neil. Hola, Diego. Scraper for Moby Games. You know what? Somebody could build that, although Moby Games doesn't want anybody to build that, so... But, you know... Sorry, Camel. Well, congrats on the new car, though. That's cool. Plug ourselves into Big Box. That's a great idea. Nice, Camel. Should be easy to do that in 3 hours. Yeah, you would think. You would think. The one thing that I haven't got nailed down perfectly is input. So I'm curious to see how well input works with the current system. I'm sorry, Jade. It's okay. I'm glad you're here anyways. Hey, Vissy. Hangover. Welcome. I'd have to translate that in order to I can say it. I can say it, but I can't read it. It's funny because I took Spanish in high school of all times, but I don't remember very much of it. Exits back to Kodi instead of the Big Box settings menu. Maybe, yeah. Somebody could program that. Probably, yeah. We might need a hook or two. Hey, Steve. Wow, Camel, that's cool. Plugins, anybody can build functionality into LaunchBox and BigBox now. That's what plugins do. So, let me get started here. So ultimately, as you guys know, there are there's documentation up here. So pluginapi.launchbox-app.com, and we have documentation for all for the plugins, of course. And what we can do is look here for exactly what to do. So it's pretty simple. Getting started, it says to get started, to simply create a new class library project in Visual Studio, and then add a reference to unbroken.launchbox.plugins.dll, which is located in the LaunchBox metadata folder. So let's do that. Let's just go the basic route here first. Your only hope for text-to-speech. Not your only hope, but that is a good idea, actually. That's a good plugin idea. Hey, Ali. Giles. Hey, Double O. Hey, Phil. Pure Luck. Thank you, Neil K. Yeah, we should talk, man. I saw you on the forums briefly, but I was rushing through it because I wanted to be in time for the stream. So, but yeah, let me know what you need, and I will build it. Awesome, Paul. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Super furry. I'm glad you're on the stream too. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you earlier on your questions there over the weekend. Yeah, Paul built a plugin already to search YouTube, basically. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We just need to create a class library project in Visual Studio and add a reference to that DLL. So that's what I'm going to do here first. I'm going to create a new project. File, new project. And I'm on .NET 4.5.2. I'm going to actually change this to 4.6.2. It'll work. 4.5.2 will work just fine. But you can go up to 4.6.2 because Big Box and LaunchBox are both on 4.6.2. And then we're just going to go class library.NET framework. I'm going to call it, for now, let's see, live stream plugin demo is what I'll call the DLL. I'm going to put it somewhere random for now. I'm just going to put it on my desktop. Okay. So now basically we just have an empty project, which is exactly what we want. And I'm going to delete the class 1 that's there. First thing I'm going to do is right click and on references and add a reference. And we're going to browse to the LaunchBox folder and then the metadata folder. And we're going to reference unbroken.launchbox.plugins.dll. So that right there is what provides access to basically everything that you need to build the plugins. All right. Let me catch up on comments. Yeah, definitely, Camel. It's good to have you guys here, that's for sure. All the especially like for this, especially all you developers, Man, I appreciate you guys so much. It's just incredible that we got you guys on the stream. Gotcha, Paul. Awesome. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Let's pray. Thank you, Dave. I don't know how I forget that, man. That's sad. But yes, let's pray. Yeah, Neil K has already started working on a plugin as well. Install with Steam, which is very cool. Visual Studio Community will work fine, Dave. Yes, absolutely. If a scraper is made for a certain site and they are against it, could they order LaunchBox to take the plugin down? Absolutely. If Moby Games got in touch with us and asked us to take a plugin down that the community had built, then that's absolutely what we're going to do. We're not going to create a fight with anybody over anything. So, hey, Nai, welcome, man. Hey, Retro, Nintendog. Plugins, yes, we're building our very first plugin here. There you go, a Bible plugin. That's a great idea. I like that. Random scripture and stuff. Good point, Paul. Cool, Jade. All right. So, we created our project. Actually, let's pray here first, guys. I'm just so excited to get into this, but let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity to do this and do what we love. Thank you for everybody on this stream. Please bless everybody on this stream. Keep blessing the conversations here so that we can continue to have these constructive conversations and just enjoy each other's company and presence. Help me to be effective at not only building a decent plugin here this morning, but also in showing people how to do it, Lord. I pray that you would work in all of our minds so that we're all in tune, all on the same page, and everything is easily understood. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So, navigate the Bible via wheel. That would be awesome. Yes. Amen. Hey, Monk. All right, let's do this, guys. So, we have built our project. Now, in the documentation, it says, the next thing it says is open the Unbroken LaunchBox plugins namespace and pick out the plugin interface that best matches. I got a frog in my throat, guys. Sorry. Best matches what you're trying to achieve. Create a class that inherits from that interface. Build your DLL and put it in the LaunchBox plugins folder. Easy enough. So this is the interface or the namespace right here, and there are two interfaces to implement right now. Two different types of plugins. The first is an iGame menu item plugin. Okay, and this basically just puts a menu item in the right-click menu for games, and then also a menu item in Big Box optionally as well in the game details menu. Then the Big Box theme element plugin is the one that's more advanced, and we'll use that one to build our Big Box star rating plugin. But I do want to build something more simple here first. So we're going to build the iGame menu item plugin first. Just do something simple. I don't have a good idea, but I want to basically build that just to be a demo to show you guys how easy it is and how little code you need to do something. So that's where we will get started here. I'm going to go basically create a class that implements iGame menu item plugin. So we are going to add a new class to this project. Just a basic class. I'm going to call it Demo Game Menu Item Plugin. I'm going to zoom in a bit here so you guys can see the code. We don't need any of this using crap. And we're going to create a public class demo game menu item plugin. And then here's the important thing. We are going to implement the iGame menu item plugin, which should show up in the list. And it's going to import the unbroken.launchbox.plugins namespace there, the using statement. Okay. Now, what's awesome about Visual Studio here is you don't know what you need, but it's easy to populate it. Rest your mouse over that, drop it down, and say implement interface. And there you go. This is everything you need to implement in order to make your plugin work. Okay? Nice and easy. You'll notice that image is not working here because we don't have a reference. It says the type of namespace name image does not exist in the namespace system.drawing. Are you missing an assembly reference? And yes, we are. All we need to do is add a reference to system.drawing. So I'm going to go to assemblies and go down to system.drawing and add a reference there to solve that. Okay. Now you'll notice that every single one of these, all they do is throw an exception. So obviously we got to get rid of that or errors are going to be popping up all over the place. But that is all you guys got to do to create the framework, the shell for your plugin. So the next thing to do is to, of course, replace all these throw new, not implemented exceptions with proper values. So let's start with supports multiple games. And let's say this particular plugin does support multiple games. And what that means is, actually, in this syntax, it would just be that. But let's change this into a more standard syntax for you guys. Okay. There is a typical property type of syntax instead of the Lambda syntax. But support multiple games basically just means that the interface supports multiple games. And if we go, or this particular plugin does support multiple games, if we go and click on the interface, you'll notice that every single one of these properties has a description and has documentation on it. So supports multiple games says gets a value specifying whether or not the menu item should be accessible when multiple games are selected at once. All right. So we are going to set that to true for this particular plugin. And then the caption, this will basically be what shows up on the menu item. Again, I'm going to convert this to a normal property here. It's a read-only property. We're going to return demo menu item for now. And that is what will show up in LaunchBox for that particular menu item, and then also in the big box menu. Okay. Let me go through some comments here. Oh, Jade, I'm sorry. We should probably pray for you. Let's pray for Jade, guys. Lord, thank you for everybody in this stream, especially Jade this morning. And I pray that you would work with her to get past these issues in her life right now. I pray that you would be with her and her cousin's family as they go through this sad time. And then also, I pray that you would help her make good decisions with this toxic relationship that she's in. Help her to end it in a way that is going to be effective and is not going to be a problem in the future. Help her to move on effectively, but not cause any major damage in the process. Give her the right answers there and just reveal to her what she needs to do to get out of that relationship and move on. Again, Lord, I thank you for Jade and for all the fun that we have with her in the streams, and I pray that you would just be with her in this awful time, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Dave, No, you do not have to build it in C#. So basically, it'll work just the same in Visual Basic. It'll actually work just the same in any .NET language. So maybe I could create a VB.NET example here in a second as well. But yeah, it's ultimately going to be the same thing. You know what, Neil? That is a Neil 9000. That is a great idea for a plugin. Scan your RetroArch core folder for the cores you use, and then use that info to auto-populate the associated platform list. You absolutely could build that plugin. It would not be that difficult even. Red Hot Chili Dog. I'm the amazing man, but why isn't Big Box a year free? Why isn't Big Box a year free? I don't know what you mean, but can you do a video plugin? You could do a video plugin. Yeah, it depends on what you mean. Anyways, we are moving on. So basically the next thing is the image that shows up in LaunchBox. This is only LaunchBox. If you look at the documentation, icon image, it says gets a value specifying the icon image to use for the menu item in LaunchBox. This property is not used in Big Box. So that is correct. Basically, it's not going to be used in Big Box. For now, we can actually just return null on that, and then no icon will show up. But we can put an icon in there as well. And then we have two more properties, show in LaunchBox or show in Big Box, so that are obvious. If we want it to show up in LaunchBox, we return true. Otherwise, we return false. And same thing for Big Box. We'll have it show up in both for now. And now we have, this is where the actual logic comes into play. This is basically just prep stuff. This is the important stuff. Get is valid for game. This is what will, again, you return true or false. This is what will determine whether a menu item shows up for a particular game. This is when a single game is selected. And then you have when multiple games are selected, is get is valid for games, right? Okay, and then on selected, when the menu item is selected, it's going to run this. And if multiple games are selected, it's going to run this. So you just have the four methods to implement there, and that's about it. Okay. And let's get started here. What should we do, guys? I don't know. I don't want to, on this particular plugin, I don't want to do too much extra stuff. I just kind of want to show that it works. And then we'll dive into the other plugin in more detail, I think. I hear you, Jade. That's the story of my life, Jade. I just don't want to deal. It's like, leave me alone, people. I don't want to deal. Oh man, that's too much. That's me, basically. But you know, adulting sucks. That's also me. Sure, Paul. Two quick questions. Could you let it so the plugins are in their own folders in the plugin folder? Because the two plugins I have made so far require other DLLs. Sure. Good point. However, I think it should be safe to put the other DLLs in there as well, I think. And I'm not sure. That's a good thing to try and test. I'm not sure how that works. But yes, what we could do is make it so that you can put it in subfolders. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Paul. I really do. So yeah, we could do that. Other question is, could you make a plugins menu on the tools menu and start a plugin for there? Absolutely, and that is planned. So yes, absolutely, we will do that. Would eMovies and LaunchBox not be interested in merging for a paid annual subscription? Seems like both work great together. They absolutely do. And we could, you know, do some kind of. We already do. Amy Movies does do a discount for LaunchBox premium license owners. So there is that already. But yes, we could definitely integrate more. That's the thing. It's difficult for us to integrate because we are not really. We're not as much of a subscription based thing as they are. Because basically the software doesn't ever expire. So your updates will expire if you buy the 1 year license. Your updates will expire after a year, but your program, your LaunchBox is going to work forever. So there's nothing that's going to make you not be able to use your product that you purchased. So yeah, that's a little bit different between EMI Movies and us, and I like that model, and I don't really want to change that model, but you know. Rotate images, that's a great idea. Create Skynet as a plugin, perfect. We could rotate an image, although I don't really want to, I don't know, we could. Let me just get a demo going here first. Heinz, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Chili Dog. I'm trying to interpret you, man. I'm trying, but I'm not following. As long as one plugin can never use the DLL, another will use. Why do you say that, Camel? When is the next giveaway? I'm not sure. I got to look at the schedule. I'm planning on. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway every 3 months. You know, something like that. Missing image filter, sure. Pure luck. Sorry, Jim. No, LaunchBox and Big Box never stop working. That's important to know. And we could do a better job explaining that to people. It's kind of complicated the way it is, but I like the way it is at the same time. Add a clock to Big Box that displays on top even whilst a game is playing. Interesting. That would be cool. Might be difficult, but that would be cool. Delete C. Oh, come on. Average game price. That would be neat. All right. So, let's get this done, though. Get is valid for game. We have a game fed into get is valid for game, okay? And we know that game is not going to be null. So all we really need to do, let's say we want this demo item to only work for games that have a version on them. So I'm going to say return selected game dot version. Let's say string dot is null or empty selected game dot version. We want not. So what this means is if the selected game has a version on it, then it is going to be valid for whatever particular item this is. If it does not have a version on it, it won't be valid. Okay? Get is valid for games. This is basically an array of games, so we need to make a decision whether it's valid for a series of selected games. And for now, I think. Well, let's go ahead and implement it. Return selected games. Let's use link. Selected games.any, which basically means if any of them in the list apply to this scenario. We're going to say G for game, G dot not string dot is null or empty, G dot version. Okay, so if any of the selected games have a version, then it's valid. Okay, and then what do we do on selected? Well, first off, just to test this out, just to demonstrate it, I'm going to do something stupid simple. We're going to say messagebox.show, which we need a reference for that. I think we need a reference to windows.forms. So we're going to go framework and system.windows.forms. Because in order to run the message box, we need that. And then we'll implement, or we'll what is it? What's the terminology? We'll using system.windows.forms up there. Or import, I think, in Visual Basic. So messagebox.show, we're going to say selected game dot title for now. We're just going to throw up a message box that is the selected game's title. And then if multiple games are selected, I'm going to simply go for each var game in selected games. And we're going to go messagebox.show selected game.title. Oh, game. And let's do something a little bit different. If string.isNull or empty game.version, then that one won't apply, and we will continue and skip and not show the message box for that. So at this point, we have a plugin here that does something. It's stupid, but it does. But this at least demonstrates for you guys how to build the simplest of plugins. And of course, now we can go up to build and build the solution. And I'm going to right click on the project and go open folder in File Explorer. And then go into the bin folder and the debug folder. And we have live stream plugin demo.dll that we built. So I'm going to copy that guy. Then I'm going to go over to my LaunchBox folder and go into my plugins folder. And we're just going to paste that plugin in there. Okay? Now if we load up LaunchBox, guess what? If we right click on any particular game, we have demo menu item. And you'll notice that it's faded out for this particular game, so you can't select it. Probably because there's no version on this game. So if we find a game with a version, let's arrange by version. Version none. There are no versions on this particular platform apparently. So here we have a version on Star Sweep. If we right click on this game and we say, now you'll notice it is enabled because this particular game has a version. And we say demo menu item, it message boxes us the game's title, Star Sweep. Okay, if we select a few of them that all have versions, demo menu item, Super World Stadium, Star Sweep, and Tetris. So obviously we have ourselves a plugin, right? In most basic form, that is how you guys build a plugin. So I wanted to do that first here, just to demonstrate to you guys how easy it is to build, a plugin. And you can literally build it in 15 minutes. So as far as like the basic form, without adding any special amazing logic. And then the icon image stuff, it's easy as well. I should probably show you guys how to do that here quick. I'm going to just go to Properties and then Resources. And we're going to create a resources file. And then I'm going to go to Images here. And we're going to find an icon. I'm going to go to my source folder here and find, actually I have the fugue icon pack here. So I'm just going to grab a random fugue icon. It's an acorn, so perfect. So I'm going to drag my acorn.png file over here, and it's called acorn, which is fine. We'll save this. And now if we want to use that acorn for the icon, all we're going to do is properties.resources.acorn. Actually, I need to return that though. Okay, return properties.resources.acorn. And now that acorn is going to show up in LaunchBox when we load it up in that menu item. So I just wanted to show that to you guys here first, quick. Did I build it already? Did I rebuild it? So we're rebuilt. Now we can copy over the new version of the plugin to the LaunchBox folder. Plugins. Why did that happen? Because I put it in the wrong. Okay, I get it. That was stupid. I just pasted it from the wrong folder into the same folder. So we need the source. bin debug. There it is. And over here, I'm pasting it into my LaunchBox folder and overwriting it. Okay. We'll load up LaunchBox. Now, in theory, there should be an icon of an acorn on this menu item, and there it is. We got an icon. All right, so I wanted to show that to you guys quickly because I know a lot of people would have trouble with that if I didn't. So, who weren't familiar with .NET Windows Forms development. Anyways, so the simplest plugin is there. So now the next thing we wanted to do is build a big box plugin, and you also notice, of course, if that menu item would show up in big box as well. Maybe I should show that here quickly, but let me catch up on some comments. Virtual PC emulator, that would be awesome. Hey, Luke Dyra. Is there any measure for plugin security? You know, that is going to be an issue because we are allowing people to do pretty much anything. And I think what we're going to do for the forums is we're going to need to have some sort of testing and approval system, because anybody's going to be able to build anything plugin wise for LaunchBox, and we're not going to restrict it. Okay. However, the stuff that's on the forums, I would like to guarantee to people is that they're safe, at least. But this is an open platform, and anytime you have an open platform like this, somebody could build something malicious. So do keep in mind, I do kind of want to put in some kind of warning somewhere that lets people know that, I mean, this is a plugin, and depending on the developer, they could screw everything up, you know. Or screw up anything on the user system even too. So yes, there is not going to be significant security in place outside of us testing the plugins that are available on the forums. So especially if you guys are downloading a plugin that isn't from the forums, then we really need to be careful with that, because you never know what somebody's going to build into it. Oh, okay, Vissy. Thanks. I didn't know that. I haven't seen that. Share this project. Absolutely. I will do that, Dave. No problem. Can we get a download all on your forums? I make Genesis themes. People have asked about that. Or maybe make a plugin for that. Probably not. I don't follow that, Paul. Okay, Wade, sure. Dear Lord, I pray for Wade. I pray that you would be with him during this appointment. This ear, nose, throat appointment. I pray he does not have an ear infection, Lord, because I know how awful those stupid things are. So be with him in this appointment. Help it to be quick and without any bad news. In Jesus' name, amen. And maybe life-threatening. Wow, I missed that the first time around. Okay, all right. It'd be nice if we could also toggle the visibility of the menu item entirely instead of just disable it. Sure. Sometimes the item just doesn't make sense to show, and toggle code for enabled should be the same location for it. Yeah, right now it doesn't show up at all in Big Box, but it does just disable in LaunchBox currently. But yeah, I get you. Yeah, we can tweak that. Hey, David. Sure, that 2-bit map. Yep, that works as well. Use the default browser to open images, PDFs, and other file formats. Sure, that's not a bad idea at all. That's nuts. Can you repurpose existing menu items like configure to open per game settings for PCSX2? No, you have to add a new one right now. I don't really want to change any logic for any existing menu items. So, I mean, you can add a new one that is called configure similarly, but no, we're not going to allow you to change existing menu items, unfortunately. Thank you, Sniffles. Gotta pay attention, guys. Plugins are as safe as an exe, so not very. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. And honestly, truly, there's no way to make this stuff 100% safe. It just always, that's the way it is. You have to trust the developers of the software on your system. That's just how it is. So we can curate a list of known good plugins, and that's what we will be doing. Yes, but we can't prevent somebody from using our plugin system maliciously. There's just no way to do that. It's the same thing as somebody building an exe. Yeah, exactly. So. Might want to make it so people need to turn plugins on from a plugin menu. That's not a bad idea, Neil, actually. I like that. Would approved plugins that you review the code be too overwhelming time-wise? I don't think so, Quad. And I've thought about that. You guys tell me. We would definitely have more... it would be safer if we required everybody who submitted a plugin to submit the source code to us. And if we did that, then we would review the source code and we would make sure there's no malicious code in there before approving the plugin. And I don't think that would be too hard, too much work for us, because it's not like we're going to have 10 plugins coming in a day, you know. So yeah, I think that is feasible. But I'm torn on that because I'm not sure I want people to be required to give us their source code. I don't know how you guys would feel about that. Hey, Rennie, yes. We just built a plugin. The first one, a demo one. Screenshot key for F12. Sure. Somebody could build a plugin for that probably. Manual sort. That would probably require some development for us on our part, honestly. But, I can build in hooks for that. But there's not a hook for that right now, plugin-wise, I don't think. Build a plugin that builds plugins. Yeah, that keeps coming up. Is there a way LaunchBox can inherit a form to fit over the top of the game screen until it's closed? Not currently, I don't think. Although we can talk about that, Paul. Let's talk about what just PM me on the forums and we can talk about what you want to build and we'll figure out how to get it done. You think code should be submitted? Okay, Dave. Yeah, exactly. What we could do, if we wanted to be wanted to be all crazy, we could force people to give us the source code and not have any plugins work unless we compile them ourselves with a particular security key, you know, something of that set, and certainly that's feasible. But again, the question comes down to, would you guys, the plugin developers, be willing to submit your source code to us to review just for security reasons, or is that something you wouldn't want to do? The other thing is, if we did something like that, we would still need a Boolean trigger somewhere to enable developers to be able to do it without that, kind of like Android does. Enable development builds that don't have the key, you know. I'm excited about it too, Slipstream. Absolutely. That's the other thing. People need testers. Could people charge money for plugins? I'm not against people charging money for plugins at all. We are not going to provide a system to, at least not yet, we're not going to provide a system to allow people to easily charge money and get access to the plugin. So you'd be on your own for that. But yes, if you wanted to build a plugin and charge money for it, we're not going to stop you in any way, shape, or form. I'm perfectly I'm fine with that. I don't mind that at all. So. All plugins should be free. I completely disagree. If somebody wants to charge money for a plugin, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't think that's going to be happening very often, though, because of course nobody's going to buy a plugin unless it really provides some amazing value. But if somebody does provide some amazing value and puts in 40 hours of work into a plugin, then absolutely they have the right to charge for it if they want to. So there's nothing wrong with that, folks. Really nothing wrong with that. They would also need to give support. Yep. Looks like we have a spammer here. Buy Bitcoin online. I need to probably ban them. Yeah, we will be adding a section on the forums for the plugins, and that is not there yet. So I need to get that there sooner rather than later. But before we get there, I need to determine exactly what we're going to do as far as security. Because that came up recently, and honestly, it is something... I mean, this is all in beta, so we're just putting this out there. The betas, of course, are not going to be... the security's not going to be there for the betas. But before the official release, we definitely need to do something with the security and decide, make all those decisions, get the section on the forums built and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly, Neo. Something like that. If it's going to be posted on the LaunchBox downloads, in the LaunchBox downloads section, it does need to go through some sort of security check. Theme downloader plugin. That's an awesome idea. And that is a good point, Stiflis. Truth be told, guys, Stiflis says this is not that big of a community. A security issue really that serious. And truthfully, it isn't. Okay? Not in my book. But it's always good to be ahead of the game with the security. Honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, right now with custom themes, someone could build a malicious custom theme if they included a DLL with the theme. Somebody could already do that. So that is already kind of an issue. and nobody has abused it. But that's not to say that, because plugins do make that easier to abuse. So it's not to say that it's not something we should be concerned with, because it is. We definitely need to be concerned with it, and we need to be proactive with the security stuff, rather than putting out fires after it happens. But we won't be blocking unofficial plugins. I think it would be better if we didn't block unofficial plugins. However, what I'm feeling right now, what I'm thinking would be the best option, is to do what Android does. And by default, disallow unofficial plugins, or plugins that haven't gone through our security checks, whatever, if possible. And at that point, you would just have to go into the options and put and select a checkbox in the options to enable any unofficial plugin. Should have an agreement when uploading a plugin that if it is free, LaunchBox has the right to include it and potentially integrate it. Yeah, you're right. We should probably do some kind of legal crap. I just don't. Yeah, I hate doing that crap, but we should do something legal with that. We should have an agreement of some sort. Yes, I'm not sure of the terms of the agreement, but we should probably create an agreement. You would have no issue with submitting a source for security review. Thank you, Trout. Good to know. If sold, they should all be one price or set price. Well, if we created a store, maybe we would do something like that. But I don't think it makes sense to have everything be one price, because some plugins are going to be super easy to develop and other plugins are going to take forever to develop. So legal crap is hard. Yes, legal crap is hard. Could allow someone to add a security signature to allow blanket accepting of their compiled code. Then someone could maliciously inject their signature. Yeah, won't be doing anything like that, but... NJ Dave, can plugins be mapped to a key or a button? Not currently, but we should definitely add that. That's not difficult for us to add. So I just need, if somebody wants to build something, you just need to let me know what you need, and I'll build the plugin, especially the plugin. I won't build the plugin, I'll build the hook for the plugin so you can build that. Especially while we're in the betas here building this stuff, now is the time to do all that stuff. Source code is safer, absolutely, Silver Child, yes. How do I handle the legal stuff with LaunchBox? Do I have a lawyer? Honestly, I don't really want to answer that question on the stream, David, because it could potentially be incriminating, So no, I'm not going to be answering legal questions about how LaunchBox is set up. Incriminating is the wrong word, because obviously we're not doing anything illegal, but I don't want to explain to you guys what my legal background is. Just know that I hate dealing with it all. Bluetooth plugin. Cool. Yeah. That makes sense, Camel. Thanks. Okay. We'll be able to browse and download plugins inside of Big Box. Probably not. Not for this first official version, but maybe in the future. That's the same thing with themes. I'd love to do that for themes as well. Thank you, Robin. Plugins will make the software perfect in the future. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm so excited. Cool. All right. So let us get going here on something a little bit more interesting than just this demo thing. So I'm going to use the same project that we already have, but we are going to add basically a new WPF control for the star rating stuff. That's what we're going to get started with. So I'm going to right click on my project, and we're going to add a new item, and we're going to go down to user control WPF, and we're going to call this Big Box Star Rating Plugin. Okay. Now there's a couple tricky things we need to do here in order to get the XAML and all that stuff to work properly. We need to add a couple references. So I'm going to add a reference to system.xaml and UI automation client. Both of those references are important in order for things to work properly when you're working with WPF. And you'll notice I think it's already adding some references when you add that item to the project, like presentation core and presentation framework, but that happens automatically. But the two, you have to go in and add two more references to system.xaml and UI automation client when you create a XAML plugin. Okay? So then we have this Big Box Star Rating plugin, which has the source code in the back here. And in here, we need to, it inherits from user control, but we also need iBigBox theme element plugin. Okay? And of course, that's Unbroken LaunchBox plugins is the namespace for that. And I'm going to move that down there and clean this up a little bit. And then, of course, we have to implement this interface. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just click on it, do the drop down, implement interface, and it's going to add all these methods. And this is how we control pretty much everything with our particular plugin code-wise. So we have the XAML here to build whatever we want using the same thing as we would use in the custom themes. And then over here, we have the code. And you can refer to everything in the XAML from the code in the back end. So I'm just going to get rid of all these throw new not implemented exception calls here. And code-wise, I'm just going to make this be actually compilable. I'm just going to do a bunch of return falses here, which means it didn't handle this input, which means that the input is going to move on to something else in Big Box. And then we have on selection changed, which is basically what tells you is selected in Big Box, and another input method here. So now this will actually build. We don't need this using system up here. And if we go back to the XAML, for now, I want to show you guys how to get this working in Big Box here first before we actually build anything cool. So I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something interesting. I'm just going to create a text box. Text box. Name equals, I don't know, text box is fine for now. And yeah, that will basically fill the entire block with the text box, which is fine. And what I'm going to do, just to demo this a little bit, we have the name is text box. So what we can do is on selection changed, assuming a game is going to be selected. You'll notice in here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what's in here. But on selection changed, you get whatever the filter type is currently. You get the filter value, you get the selected platform, the selected category, the selected playlist, and the selected game. All right. Any one of these can be null depending on what is selected. For example, if you're in a platform that's listing a bunch of games, it's going to show the selected game and whatever platform you're in. If you're in a platform category, then platform is going to be whatever is selected platform-wise, and category is going to be the category that's listed. If you're in a playlist, then game is going to be null. If you're in a playlist, then the playlist will not be null, but platform will be, and category probably will be as well. And then whatever game is selected will be populated there. So what I'm going to say is if game equals null, I'm going to say this.textbox.text equals an empty string, string.empty, whatever. Else this.textbox.text equals this, or not this. We have game dot, let's do something a little bit different than title. Title's fine, but whatever. Let's just do developer, game.developer, okay? So basically, that text box, whenever something is selected now, that text box should say the developer, is ultimately what we're building here. This is before we get into we're going to change this all to be the star rating plugin, I'm hoping here. But I want to show you guys how to build the most basic of controls here at the same time. So now we're going to go build. And we have the DLL. So I'm going to go open the folder, grab the DLL and put it in my LaunchBox plugins folder, overwrite the previous one. Should be a little bigger. Yep, 11 kilobytes. Now, the next thing we got to do is put this particular plugin into a theme. Because this is a little bit, because that's the point of this particular plugin, we have to build it into a theme. The point of this plugin is to get it, is for theme developers to be able to build any special logic they want into a theme. So that's ultimately what we're doing here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my LaunchBox folder, and I'm going to go into my themes folder, and I'm just going to take the default theme, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to rename this live stream theme demo. Okay, and I'll open up that folder, and we're just going to open up the theme project now, and I'll show you guys how to use your new custom control in a theme quickly so that we can get Big Box working with that control. The first thing I'm going to actually do is add a reference to my custom control. So we're going to add a reference, and we're going to go browse, and we're going to go to LaunchBox plugins, and we're going to go to the live stream plugin demo DLL that I've added here. Okay, and then I'm going to open up a view. If my Visual Studio would catch up with me here. There we go. And we're going to select a game view. Let's just do wheel games view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the details. We have this game details transition selector. We do have some markup issues here. It's not displaying what we're working on, but not sure why that is. Error list. What's the problem here? Remember, cover factory is not required or is not accessible. I don't know why that's showing. Honestly, I don't know what that problem is, but it's easy to ignore that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of this line right here, which basically shows this is where the game details show. And instead of the game details, we're going to build in our plugin control that we just built. And what I can do is I should do this manually so you guys know what's going on. Now we get a preview. What the heck? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so you'll notice we have all these, this XML NS, I'll zoom in here a little bit so you guys can read this. This XML NS cover flow, this is a particular, it's already loading up a control from an external DLL. So we can basically mimic this for our custom DLL. So I'm going to say XML NS :demo equals CLR namespace and our namespace for our custom project here is livestream plugin demo, and that's also the name of the DLL. So we need CLR namespace : livestream plugin demo, and it automatically finds it there for us. Assembly, it's going to populate the whole thing. Assembly equals livestream plugin demo. So ultimately that provides access to the control from within the XAML. And then down here we can simply add demo : big box star rating plugin. It found it for us. And magically we can put it in that spot. Now we do need a grid.row thing here. So what I'm going to do is undo so I can figure out what that was. I should have looked at that first. So grid.column equals true, equals 2, not true. And we'll go back. And we just need to add grid.column equals 2. So now, in theory, we have a theme that uses our custom plugin. And it's just a matter of starting up Big Box at this point, using your new theme, and it should just work. We will see. All right, so I'm going to go back. And we're going to go into views, and we're going to change the theme to live stream something or other. Oh, I passed it up. Live stream theme demo, okay, is our view, which basically is a copy of the default theme, so nothing special. Okay, and it's the wheel games view, so I'm going to load up a particular platform. And NES is fine. And you'll see our text box over there on the right. We didn't do any formatting, so the text is really small and you guys probably can't even read it. But you'll notice, as we switch games here, it does show the developer of the game in that text box. So we just built the simplest possible plugin control for a theme in Big Box. So I wanted to do that here first so everybody had a good tutorial on how to do that stuff. The next thing is to make this more interesting, of course. So let's exit Big Box and catch up on some comments here. Stivlis, any plans for an easy-to-use theme editor? That came up recently. And my personal opinion on that is that we would have to, I mean, if people were going to vote on that heavily, then I'm still willing to implement it. But we've discussed it previously in the live streams, and I think people are mostly on the same page. But anyways, the gist is it would take us months to build an easy-to-use theme editor, and even if we did do that and spent the time on it and built one, the themes that people would build with it probably wouldn't even be as attractive as the themes that people are building right now. And the reason for that is because the XAML theming engine is the most flexible thing in the entire world, and there's no way to build something that is as flexible as what we already have. So if we built an easy-to-use theme editor, just drag and drop whatever, then it's just not going to be as powerful. And there's no way to make something like that as powerful as what we already have. So the problem with that is we could build that, but my concern there is we're going to end up with a lot of themes that aren't as attractive, aren't as involved, aren't as neat as the themes that we already have being built by the community. And we get new themes in every week, and they're just amazing. So at this point, my personal opinion is that would be kind of backpedaling, you know. I don't think that's a good direction for us to go at this point. Thank you, Elite. Beta release date. This stuff is all out. The plugin stuff is all already available. So I don't know when the next beta will be out. I don't even know exactly what's going to make it in the next beta at this point because I want to keep working on the plugin stuff. But Justice. I want to build a plugin which selects random games in Big Box. Not a bad idea. That's great. Not sure if there's a way to add items to Big Box general menu. There is not, but I will add that for you. As a matter of fact, I can do that this week. So yeah, PM me if you would. PM me, anybody who wants me to add a new plugin type or a new hook. My objective this week is to get this plugin system more involved for you guys. I'll be working on a lot of the documentation. I'll be working on a lot of the hooks, to add more hooks. So anybody who doesn't have what they want, we're going to be adding that in. So exactly. Just PM me, guys, on the forums. My forum name is Jason Carr, Jason Space Carr. Just PM me on the forums, and I will work with you to get whatever you need in there. Need a background menu music player plugin, play random MP3s from folder. That's already there, totally radical dude. Hey Rudy, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Lots of other people, Neil K, had put DLLs into plugins already. Well, not lots of other people. Eat Canola as well as Grilla had done it. So it's a little bit tricky because of the WPF and how XAML works, but it did work before the plugin system. But hopefully it's easier now anyways. So no worries anyways. So are you making the star ratings plugin instead of making it a regular feature, just as an example? I might make it a regular feature sooner or later. It just depends on how things all work out here. That is a great idea. The select which file to launch from inside 7-zip RAR files. I really like that idea. Take it easy, 00. Thank you, Wax. I think you found how to fix the render not working. It involves some branches in code for editor logic versus runtime logic. Yeah, I know it involves that. I just don't know where and what, Neil. So again, yeah, hit me up. Let me know if you figure out how to truly fix that stuff. Yeah, I have a good machine here. Nothing that amazing though. It's a 6700K. And when you're looking at startup performance, you're looking at two different things. You're looking at the CPU is the most important thing, and you're also looking at your hard drive. And I do have this running on an SSD. But yes, the latest betas, if you haven't seen the latest betas do a ton to speed things up on startup. My personal startup time, I cut way more than I cut it in half, more than in half. I think I probably cut it down to a third of what it was. So that is good. The giant text box. Shimonji. Yeah, that's what we do. Shimonji, every Monday and Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. PST. That's exactly what we do. Tiny text that is unreadable, yeah. Slipstream, if your 1 year runs out, you'll still be able to use LaunchBox and Big Box. It's not going to kick you out. It will work forever. Don't worry about that. Hello World LaunchBox Plugin Edition. You got that right, Jack. Hey, Susan. When going through various views, can a message fade in and out of the view name? Don't fully follow, but can you put transitions on theming elements? Absolutely, you can. We probably won't get into that in this stream, but yes, you can do that. Plugin example that uses strictly auto hotkey. Well, auto hotkey is already available. Although we haven't provided hooks directly for auto hotkey. So at that point, we would need something different, and people would have to explain to me exactly what they need so that I can get that built into LaunchBox and Big Box here. Would also be interested in adding an item to the Big Box menu. Good to know. Okay, you mean the system menu, I assume. So I will be adding a hook for that, and I already planned on adding it. But you know, this is all just, I was rushing to get this stuff out last week. I actually built the plugin system in 2.5 days, so good progress. But there's certainly a lot more we can do. So I'm excited to, and that includes all the documentation and everything else. So very, very cool there. Sign out, log off. Sure. That could be done via a plugin, guys. Per system themes, can this be done yet? No. But that is on the list, I believe. I think that was on the poll, wasn't it? Slipstream, that doesn't make any sense at all. I have a bug in LaunchBox where if I launch some games, it deletes all artwork for that game. That's like, honestly, to be completely honest with you, man, that's not even possible. What is more likely is that we have a bug somewhere else. Maybe we have a bug in the cleanup images, and when they're refreshed, they're not showing back up. That could be possible if you're using the betas. But yeah. Hit me up on the forums about that. That's not good. Netflix style profiles for different people. That was also on the poll. That's feasible, Blades. Fix my random video WPF control by just bypassing the entire constructor's contents if in editor. Sure. Okay. Seems to be fixed most of the time just to dummy it out entirely. That makes sense. Yep. Dumb rendering for editor only. Sure. Yeah, library size, startup performance. Yep, matters a lot. I am working on the video stuff, Slipstream. Absolutely, yes. I worked on that last week and got some of the ways, but I am also going to work on that a little bit this week as well. Hey, Keltoy. Awesome, Paul. DPI scaling. Somebody told me that you can disable DPI scaling just by changing the EXE settings in LaunchBox or in Windows or something. So that is an interesting thought. The number of games in your LaunchBox does definitely affect the startup time. Yes, David. On-screen controls buttons. That is an excellent idea. Yes, there is a Kodi plugin available, although it's simple. It doesn't use our plugin system at all. All it does is launch LaunchBox or Big Box from Kodi and then go back to Kodi after it closes. Awesome, Neil. Thank you. Moving unused videos as a part of the image cleanup. Then somebody could easily build a plugin with that right now, honestly. Although, it would be better to add a hook to the tools menu for that. So we'll get that stuff in there. You want my face to pop in at random. No, 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 no. Would I host a server for a cloud option? Well, there's a lot involved in that. So, I mean, it would depend on what that exactly means. That would be a major discussion. Implementing separate themes for each system in the next official release. I believe that was on the poll, and I believe it was fairly high voted. So that is something we will be implementing, but will it be in the next official release? Probably not, Steve. 8.0 won't be coming out until after 7.10 is out. So we'll see. I don't know. It depends on, yeah, we'll see when that happens. I'm not quite sure yet. We thought about doing a Patreon goal where some money would go to support upcoming emulators. Allocating some of the money to an original Xbox emulator or the PS3 emulator. Not a bad idea, although it makes me, I don't know, it seems a little bit sleazy to try and encourage people to support our Patreon by promising that we're going to send money over to somebody else. It just seems a little bit greasy, you know. I don't know. That's interesting. Although I'm sure it would work. I'm just not a big fan of that model, that approach. We do already support RetroArch on Patreon. We do send them money every month. I don't know, and actually I support some YouTubers as well currently. But I don't know about like promising, I don't know, that's interesting. Yeah, why not just donate directly? But the reason would be, you know, to get people to support us as well. But it just seems a little bit sleazy to me. But anyways, let's get back to this. We have the plugin there. We just need to add the star rating stuff. So the first thing we would need to do is figure out how to build the XAML for the stars. Cmu needs more support on Patreon. That makes sense. Hey, Sid. Okay, so this is our theme. We need the project for our plugin. And instead of a big old text box here, you know what I might do? What I'm thinking, I know there is a theme that somebody has built, and I'm trying to remember what theme it is that already has beautiful stars in there. So I'm thinking of doing the awful thing of copying their XAML here. I'm trying to remember which one it is, because I know that already exists. So rather than rebuild the XAML, that would probably be the smart thing to do. Take a look at how they built the stars. I might have to load up Big Box to figure that out, though. I think it might be one of Gorilla's themes. Is it fundamental, maybe? Let's see. What did I just do? I broke something. That's a surprise. Whoa. So my theme, or my plugin maybe, is the plugin causing the problem? That's weird. Yeah, apparently it was. So that's interesting. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that later. I'm not going to do that right now while we're on the stream here, but apparently we do have a glitch there with the plugins. I don't know what caused that. That's odd. But it was definitely the plugin, because I just got rid of the plugin and it didn't happen. But anyways, if we go into themes, I think it might be the theme I wanted to look at. Or maybe it's Big Force. I don't remember. By Gorilla. If we go... Yeah, this might be it. And I know it's probably not tweaked for my 16 by 10 monitor. Yeah, I see how we got the stars there in this theme. So we should see... This is a really neat theme, by the way. Which is no surprise, because it's one of Gorilla's themes. But it would be awesome... So I'm just looking at these stars and thinking maybe we should see how he built those stars. Make it easier for us to build the XAML here. So in my theme folder, I'm going to go up to Big Force, and we'll load up his theme project. Hey, Gorilla's here. Awesome. You're thinking of fundamental, but it's just a PNG file hack. No XAML for the actual stars. Okay. Fundamental. I was wondering if... I think... So you've got stars in both of them. I deleted the amazing text box and it... Yeah, I broke it. I need more themes. Dave. Yeah, I have a lot of themes. Okay, let me load up the particular view. Hopefully, I know it's a games view, obviously. It's probably a horizontal wheel games view with the stars. It might be hard to figure that out. I should have looked while we had it loaded. Let me load it back up again. So, I just need to... There's a couple things I need to do here. Gonna go into options. So I turned off already, remember separate view for each platform. That's good. That'll make it easier for us here. And then when we go into... doesn't matter. So the view is already correct for that. I just need to figure out. So the platforms, no, the games list view is vertical wheel 1. Okay. That's what I needed. So we need vertical wheel 1. So it's basically wheel games view that he does it in. He's got some nice comments here. That helps. Cover reflection. Wonder if he's got star in here somewhere. Star rating start. Beautiful. Man. Gorilla, you're awesome, man. Holy crap. Look at this. So obviously it's already easy. Just based on what Gorilla already has here, it's fairly easy to build the star ratings just to show the star ratings. You can already do that with just themes. But what I would like to do is get this, get it done so that people can actually, rate the themes. That's what I would love to be able to do. So whether we can do that in the live stream today or not, I'm not sure. But this is awesome. This is going to help us out tremendously. So thank you, Gorilla. Let us go back to our plugin. And I'm just going to, for now, I'm just going to paste this in here. And I know we have a million issues here that I need to resolve. What is the problem first? So I know sometimes when you're working with XAML, after you add all your references, you have to close out of Visual Studio and reopen it. So I'm going to do that, and I think that might solve our issues with the XAML not working properly with all the lines and all that crap. So I'm going to open up live stream plugin demo. There it is. So now at least it's not complaining about a bunch of stuff unnecessarily. So these images don't exist. So we're going to have to figure out how to reference the image from within the DLL. So he's got basically the selected game. He's feeding in the star rating. If the value is 1, he's loading up this image. If the value is 2, he's loading up this image. So I'm guessing these are basically just 5 different images depending on what the value is, which is, it makes perfect sense. We catch up on comments here. I want bacon. I do too, Keltoy. Oh, unload and reload the project. Yeah, sure. Can I get a shout out? If I could pronounce your name, Lit, I would. But I'll just say Lit. There you go. Pay me and I will. That's a very good way to get no subs. Oh, man. Yeah, the screenshot thing. That's interesting. I got to look into that yet. Cool, Camel. All right. So I need to pull those images and figure out how to integrate them and actually use them in the theme, in the DLL. There's got to be a way to do that, but I don't know how to do that yet. So that will be interesting. That's probably step 1. So basically what I need to do is load up his theme, Gorilla's theme here, the Big Force theme, and go to the images. And there's the star rating images. Okay. And I'm going to go to properties and resources, and we're going to add his images in here. And I'm going to rename these star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now that we have that, the question is how to use these in the XAML. And believe it or not, I know I've done it, but I don't remember. So let's see. Let's see what happens. I wonder if I do this, if this is going to just do it for me. No, of course it's not. Stupid thing. I'm going to add an image. So before we do it with this custom logic, let's add an image. Let's see if we can browse to it. That would be neat. No, but that won't. Yeah, that won't work. All right, I'm gonna have to look this up. It's just been too long since I did it. Whoops. XAML add image from resource. There it is. So instead of search.png, o1.png, there it is. Yay. All right. So that's how we do it. So in theory, all we got to do is change all these values here to be that instead. Oh, I need the 0 one too. I forgot about that. Which means it's not rated. So 2, 3, and of course, before we would release a plugin like this, we're going to need to, change up the stuff and provide access so that, you could change the images, so that depending on the theme you're putting it in, you could change the images to be whatever you want to match the theme and all that kind of stuff. But this is a good start. And we need one more that I forgot to add, because we need the one for no stars selected. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go over here, and we're going to call this star 0, although that doesn't really matter, because that's not how we're referring to it in the XAML, but whatever works. And I'm going to get rid of that. Now, we are, this is no longer a thing. This is no longer a thing. Okay. Sure, whatever. Rating, the rating image. So now the other thing is, instead of doing this via the selected game property, because we are in a plugin, and so this selected game property, the binding, I don't think that's going to work while inside the plugin. So come to think of it, we're going to need to do this in the code instead. So when a game is selected, what we need to do is load up the value into this particular image. Basically, we need to change the image from the code behind instead. So let's start there and see if we can get that working. So most of this, come to think of it, most of this XAML is going to go away because we're going to be doing that from the code behind instead. So let's see. On selected a particular game, we're going to change this up to no longer support multiple games. So you have to have only one game selected to support it. Actually, This is the wrong one. What we need is this guy. There we go. This makes more sense. Okay. Now again, I'm just gonna ignore all input here first. We got rid of the text box, so that's no longer working. But we're going to add something in onSelection changed to load up that proper value. If game, so first off, if game equals null, then we're not going to do anything for now. We want to make sure the game is not null. And then we get the star rating just simply by retrieving game.starRating, which is an integer value. So it's simple. Switch game.starRating. Case 1. I can't type. Actually, we need case 0 as well. Case 2. Case 3. Case 4. And case 5. And case 0 is going to be in there as well. And then we don't need a default or any of that. So that's fine. Now all we need to do is actually assign the proper image based on what the value is. So we have the image is this dot rating dot source equals, and that I need to look up how to do this again. I don't remember. So we need WPF set image source from code. Oh, you can set the source to a bitmap image, sure. Okay. There's probably an easier way to do this. There kind of has to be, but we're going to get it working. Set the URI source, logo, or image.endinit. And then we set the image.source equal to the logo. Whoops. So we set this.rating.source equal to image. And then we just basically need to put this line in all of these and set the proper values. Okay, and we need an end init afterwards instead of beforehand, I think. There we are. So now we just need the values, and we can copy the values from over here. I'm just going to copy all these in, and we can change the file names to match. 0, what was that called? Why is it having an issue here with that? Oh, URI. Okay. New URI. I see. So we basically need that line instead. Okay. And I want to look at my resources. Yeah, 0, 0 is right. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now, in theory, if we build this and put it in our big box we should see the star rating there correctly, and it should show the right values. Hopefully I have some star ratings in my collection so that we can test it. Let's see. So first off, we did build it, right? I did just build it. There it is, we're built. Let's open the folder, we'll grab the DLL. We'll put it back into LaunchBox, plugins. Actually, let's test something a little bit different here. Let's go into themes, and then it's this live stream theme demo. We have a plugins folder in here. And let's put it in there instead, because if you want to plug in directly inside of a theme, you can do that instead. Okay. So now let's see if we can get it to display here first. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. All right. Let's go into consoles. 2600 is fine, although I don't know what I have star ratings for. Wait, I'm on the wrong theme here, guys. Duh. We got to go into my demo theme. Views. Oh, I keep passing it up. You know, I really need to change this so that you can go back and forth in the settings. It drives me nuts. It really does. I can't believe I haven't done it yet, because I'm just going to be sitting here doing this all day. Slow down. Slow down. There it is. There it is. Don't touch it. Okay. All right. There is our theme. Go into consoles. 2600. And we have, what do we got here? What's the... Oh, I forgot. I didn't change the XAML. Of course. So we got to go into the XAML, and I have a bunch of stuff I need to remove because we don't need any of this stuff anymore. And that's going to cause us a lot of weird problems because that stuff doesn't exist. There. So that's all we need at this point. And the code behind will set the rest. Here we go again. Rebuild. Bin. Debug. Grab our plugin. LaunchBox folder. Themes. Live stream theme demo. Plugins. Replace. Here we go again. Cannot locate resource. So here's the thing. There's got to be a different way, because that file doesn't exist in the custom theme. But I don't want it to work that way. I want to pull it from within the DLL. So how can I do that? That's not what I want. And then, of course, we're all stuck here. So let me just kill it. Stopped working. It would be easy to add it to the theme, and that's possible, but I wanna figure this out because I'm curious now. You know. Wow, I can't kill it. Come on, Windows, what's your problem? Get out of here. There we go. So if we WPF XAML set image source to resource from code. I know I've done this before, and it's surprisingly stupid difficult. So I mean, I can add a WPF specific resource, but I don't really even want to do that. Add a static resource. Oh. No, I'm already using application. That doesn't work, people. It doesn't work. And then if I go into my resources, build action is none. I have a feeling I need to set build action to content on this stuff, but I don't know. If I remember correctly, I had to do something like that previously. I have done this. I have already done this in LaunchBox, in Big Box. So maybe I should just go look at my code and see how I did it. If we, the Big Box project here, we have the resources, and we have all these, I mean, this is all here. So how did I do it? These are build action resource, okay. And in my view, we need themed views system. Let's take a look at that. And this is what I use. So we just need to set the build action to resource, I think, and that will do it. But it's using the same logic here. It just needs to be build action resource, I think. I think that'll do it. I hope. We'll see. So on all of these, we want to set the build action to resource. Save it and rebuild it and try it again. Okay. Now, we need to go, I'm going to leave that folder open so I don't got to reload that back up, and we'll open a new one here. Bin debug, copy that guy, close that out, and go back to our plugins folder, paste it in there, and try this again. Really? This isn't that difficult, people. Come on. That's frustrating. Just getting access to the stupid images. Well, let's catch up on some comments since I'm struggling here a little bit. I don't want you to check for a solution. I just want you to die. Thank you. Okay. I just want you to die. I'm sure I'm like a million miles behind in comments right now, guys. So maybe I'm not going to be able to go through them all. You guys have been like building themes and stuff. You're probably going to be a lot faster at building the stuff than I am, honestly, at this point. Uh-oh. I need to ban somebody. Oh my goodness. All right, so how do I do this in YouTube? How do I ban somebody? Report, remove, block. Block. Sorry, unicorn, I am not at all interested. You're just not attractive enough. I'm sorry. A true fan. I'm sorry about that, guys. That's the first time we've had, like, sex spam before. We've never had that before. Oh no, Keltoy. Oh man. That's why there is confusion. The resource with the icon menu is completely different because that's Windows Forms. Depends on the GitHub resources. It depends on the license. So you got to look at the license on GitHub to see whether it's available for use. Yeah, the image names are different. I renamed the resources, but I didn't. Maybe though, maybe that's the problem. I don't know. All right, so we are caught up in comments for the most part. Let us go back. Maybe it is the fact that they don't match. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's make a match. I don't think that's going to solve it, though. I'm going to, like... yeah, whatever. Oh, come on. *3, *4, *5. Okay, so we have *0 through 5. Where I'm going to actually just remove these. I don't even think necessarily that this matters. Honestly, I don't think it matters at all. But maybe it does. I'm not sure. So these are all set to... Why is that content? They shouldn't be. Resource. This is in the resources folder. If I look at the way I'm doing it here, image source equals application, resources, then the name of the file. So obviously these got to change to *0, *2, *1, I mean. *4, *5. Okay. There we go. So, I still don't know why this would work, where it wouldn't work before, honestly. But maybe we should give it a shot. What else would there be? So I guess one thing I should check is, before we just like plug it in, let's try and do that. So source equals this guy. It picks it up that way. Okay. So in theory it should work, right? I hope. I don't know. Maybe the problem is that we're running from a DLL. I don't know. That could be the issue. I always build it and I don't remember whether I built it because I'm that stupid. All right, so We're going to grab our plugin demo here and put it in our theme folder again. And we'll try this again and see what happens. Now we get this issue. This seems to happen randomly for some reason. Oddly. So I definitely need to look into that. That's why we have betas. That's weird. Now it's happening every time. So what is it that's causing that problem? Key not found exception in load games. It only happens with the plugins though. Let's debug that quickly. We might get this working today, guys. We might. We'll see. This is the right project. Okay, and we have big box selected. So let's just start it up and see what the error actually is. So rebuild in debug mode. Thank you, Retro Angel. When you reference resources, don't you use the exact name of the resource. If it has no extension in the resource file, just use no extension on the usage. The thing is, it works differently in WPF, Neil. It's interesting because it kind of refers to the file directly, which confused me. WinForms is completely different. That's the thing. Yeah. International plug. What do you mean, Dave? Okay, we built. Let me give this a run and watch it not give me any issues while I'm in debug mode. That would figure. That's fine. Whatever. I'll look at that later. Let's change this view. It's driving me nuts. Let's go into, and we have an error. Wow. Selected filter.name. Filter view model selected filter. Okay, so selected filter is null. No. It's not null. Selected filter was null. But it's not null. It must be. Really? Okay. You're right, Neil K. This is a race condition. There's no question this is a race condition. But it's not, no, but the reason why I was seeing it having a value when it didn't, that's a race condition. But should solve that one. Strange. How come I've never seen that before? I don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. But that's okay. We'll solve the bugs. Consoles. There we go. Let's go to 32x, something different. Okay, so this is actually the code from our plugin that Visual Studio is finding for us. Cannot locate resources /star0.png. All I can figure is because we're in a DLL. I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't get it. I mean, granted, I can add the files for now, but I don't want to have to do that. I want this to just work inside from within the DLL. So let's go back to the drawing board here and look. If you have XAML, set image source to DLL. That'd be cool, Neil K. Go for it, man. Do it. If you're referencing a resource to the same assembly, you don't have to specify extra information. Really? That can't work, though. Oh, USA plug versus Europe. Startup videos. I am going to improve the startup videos. And as a matter of fact, that was on the poll. So it is something we will be doing, yes. It wasn't the most highly voted stuff on the poll, but it was on the poll. So it will be, and it was like in the top half. So definitely we will be doing it relatively soon. So this is telling me that I can just do this. But why? I don't believe that. That doesn't make any sense. But application might actually be referring to the EXE, and that could be the issue instead of the DLL. Who knows? Let's give that a shot. Well, the other thing is, though... Oh, I'm not in my right project here. I'm in the other one. That's funny. So over here, what if we... Do we still get the image if we do this? We do. Okay. You know what? Thank you, Neil. If this doesn't work, I will try that next. Although, like, the whole resource dictionary stuff, I don't want to have to add all that crap. But, you know, if we do, we do. Alright, so rebuild this stupid thing. Here we go. Open folder. Bin debug. Grab our DLL. Put it in our plugin folder. Give it a run. Actually, let's do it via the debug. Just in case we run into an issue. There it is. What? What? It showed up, though. It showed up, people. You gotta be kidding me. There's gotta be something wrong with this code right here. So, man. You saw it loaded, though. It loaded this up. It was there. So this works. But somehow, this is broke. We're using URI source instead of just source. Unbelievable. Oh, but it's an image. But wait, at the same time, like... So on the XAML image source from code behind. So this is the code that's actually supposed to work. This is a trick right here. So that makes some sense. So hopefully this will solve it. Apparently, I mean, it's always different when you do it in XAML versus when you do it in code behind. But you wouldn't think this would be so tricky. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, bitmap image image. Okay? We're not going to do any of this stuff. We're going to move this to here. And it's live stream plugin demo. Resources / *0 .png. I hope that works, because this is getting ridiculous. Okay. I don't need that stupid line. Rating source equals image. Might not be initialized. Fine. So let's just set this to null. Okay. I think that'll do it. Hopefully. Try again. Build action resource. I don't know. I hope it works, because I'm tired of dealing with this. So we open the folder, bin debug. We definitely have the images included in the DLL, because the size of the DLL is much bigger. So no question, it's included. But it was included before too, but I think it's just the way we had things. I don't know. We'll see. Should have probably debugged it, but oh well. Oh, I didn't change the names, you're right. I didn't rename the... Well, let's see if it actually works, though, since we're already in here. Yeah. It disappeared. But we didn't get an error. Okay. Let's go take a look at our code. I know we have to change the names, but why did it not show any image at all? You know what I'm going to do is messagebox.show game.starRating.toString, just so I know what the value is. Folder, bin debug. There we go with that crap again. Wow. All right. Zero. And then it disappears. So I wonder if... That's pretty weird. Man, I can't wait, guys. I need to find something that actually has a rating on it, though. I gotta look in LaunchBox for that, probably, and filter by it to figure out what has a rating. But I don't think it's gonna show up because it seems to be hiding it now. I can't win. Oh, Big Box is apparently still saving something. Come on, guy. There you go. All right. So let's take a look at star rating. So I have some DOS games. It's mostly just DOS games that are rated, so we'll stick with that. That's fine. So just out of curiosity, let's check to see if a DOS game that has a rating shows anything. Also, I have an idea what might be going on. I've got an idea how to fix that, potentially. Five. So that should be 5 stars. But of course, it's not showing it. We had this begin init stuff before and end init. So maybe that's the problem. That's my only guess. Actually, we can probably just do this down here. And end init. It's certainly not going to be ever null, but here we go again. Computers. DOS. What? Did I set it more than once? I promise, guys, I sort of kind of know what I'm doing here. Sort of, kind of. This is the wrong project, of course. We need this guy. We got image begin init there. I'm not beginning initting more than once. Actually, my goodness. So we have... I already have something that does this. That's what's so frustrating. I do this already in Big Box. And so I'm like completely baffled here as to why this crap ain't working. If we look at the game class actually in my plugins project, the iGame object has something that says where is it? It's an image something or other, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. I can't win. View models. Views. Nope, I need themed views. Game details view, that's what I need. Game details view. We have all these images in here. And the way I do them, we have binding. I have this image to source converter stuff. Well, you'll notice like the way I do this here is I just use pack. This is exactly what we're trying to do here first, and that won't work. And all I can figure is because it's not an exe, it's a DLL that's being referred to from another exe. I don't know why else we would be having an issue. Although, you know what? I've got a different idea that would work, because we know we can do it. We can load it up from the XAML. As stupid as this is, here's what we're gonna do. I know this works. So what I can do is we can create 5 of these and set the visibility of them, or 6 of them. And that'll work for now, just to get us past this crap. Okay. And since we know that this actually does friggin' work, we can set visibility equals collapsed on all of them and change the visibility depending on which one's selected. Because I'm tired of screwing with this and trying to figure it out. So, whatever. Whatever. Okay. So we have rating 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do, screw all this crap. Quickly here, we're going to simply say this.rating0.visibility equals visibility.collapsed. Copy that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this.rating0.visibility equals visibility.visible. Copy that 5 times. What did I just do? Broke it. And change the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Okay, guys. Here we go. It's gonna work this time. I promise it's gonna work. Let me build it and try it. And if this doesn't work, I cry, I quit, and I go home. Because I can't handle it if this doesn't work. Alright. Here we go. Let's do it the debug way. Apparently it's over there. So now we get that in debug mode, so I can take a look at what's actually causing that. So the given key, I see. This is in load games in the data manager class. Okay. In this.games.keys. Sure. So somehow it is some kind of race condition. But why would that ever happen? Because it's all single-threaded at this point. Or is it? No, because we just added... this is an issue from the performance tweaks that we just did, actually, is so this is an issue with the beta in the performance tweaks. So good to know. I should probably fix this. What is the ID, though? Okay. I'll come back to this. I'm going to bookmark it. Now it's going to do it every time to me. Watch. So I'm going to have to fix it now. There we go. All right. Look at that. 5 stars. No stars. 5 stars. No stars. It friggin' works. Finally. It's a miracle. I don't know, I probably don't have anything that is anything other than 5 stars or no stars. I feel like I should apologize to you guys that took me so freaking long to get that right. I can't believe that. That drives me nuts. But now we can try doing some more interesting stuff, like taking in input. So at least now we're in a state to do something a little bit more new, I guess. So, the next thing. Should I catch up on comments here first? How far behind am I? Oh, the stream went down for a second. That stinks. Are we back at least? Those backgrounds, you can find them in the Clean BG theme that you can download from the forums. We probably need to get them separated out because a lot of people love those backgrounds, me included. And I'm not sure there's a good download outside of the Clean BG theme, but that's where you would find them. Stop breaking stuff. I'm trying. I'm so trying. Hi, Matic. It hasn't been going that well so far in the stream on our sampled plugins, but everything's going great, actually. I'm just joking. It's just taking me forever to get to it. Broken promises. I'm suing. Yeah. All right. So, now that we have this stuff going, what we can do is accept all these input methods. Now, the way the input works currently, I'm not sure if we need to tweak this or if we should tweak this, or if there's any way we can handle the input better than we do. But basically, you get all these methods that will be sent to the plugin whenever input is entered. And if you handle it, you would return, if you do something with it, you would return true so that the input doesn't go to anything else. But if you don't do anything with it, you return false, and the input will go back to the rest of Big Box. So, in our example here, let's take a look at how the input works in this particular view. So if we go into MS-DOS again, we have up and down being used right now for input. But what we can do is, then of course we have left and right being used for this. Now I don't have anything in there yet to tell you whether you have the index open. But what we can do is we can keep our own track. So when somebody presses right, we can override it so that focus goes over to the star rating plugin, and then we would of course show focus. There's some stars. There you go. Apparently I didn't like Freddy Farkas very much. But what we can do is on right, if focus isn't on the star rating, we can put the focus on the star rating plugin. And if we did this properly, we would obviously show that it's focused, which we don't do right now. We won't do yet. But anyways, so on right is what we want to deal with. On right, I think it's on up. Where's on right? On right is right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add a boolean, private bool focused. What's the problem there? Never used, sure. So it'll default to false. And then on right, all we really want to do is set this.focused equals true. And then I am going to return true every single time. So what that will do is right is always going to be overridden right now to work on, or to focus the star rating control. The tricky thing there, though, is then it's gonna disrupt the index. So we're gonna have to solve that somehow, and I'll get back to that later. But for right now, I just want it to work. So on right is always going to focus the star rating. On left, what I'm going to do is if this.focused, actually we need to handle held as well. If held, I'm going to say return false, because we don't want to do anything if it's like being held repeatedly. We might as well take care of that here. Okay, so on left, what we want to do is this.focused equals false, so that it's no longer focused on the star rating control. And then we're going to return true here. But so what I'm going to do, if held or not this.focused, if it's already not focused, then we're not going to do anything. And we're going to return false, which reports that it hasn't been handled. So that Big Box can take that input and do whatever with it. Then we have on up and down. So on down, what we're going to do is, first off, if we'll let held actually work in this case. And if this.focused, if not this.focused, we're just going to return false and not do anything. And on up, I should move these together so it's not so confusing. If not this.focus, return false. Otherwise, we're going to be returning true. And we're going to be setting the star rating, ultimately. So we got to figure out what the star rating is currently. So we're gonna want to save that, actually. And we want to set the star rating too on the game object. Okay, so we have our game. So when a game becomes selected, we need to save that game as selected so that we can get at it in the property. So basically, we also need a private iGame game, selected game. All right. And then we need to set this.selected game equals game. We should probably do that before returning from the null, though, so it's null if there is no game selected. And if not this.focused or this.selected game equals null, we're going to return. Otherwise, we want to set the star rating equals this.selected game dot star rating, and I'm just going to say plus, oh, this is on up, so -1, and then if star rating is less than 0, then star rating equals 0, and then we're just going to say this.selected game dot star rating equals star rating. I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but that's fine for now. And then we need to update the actual graphic as well. But let's get this implemented for on down as well at this point. So int star rating equals this.selected game dot star rating +1. If star rating is greater than 5, then star rating equals 5. And this.selected game dot star rating equals star rating. Okay, so that updates it on the game object. Another thing that's important to note that we're not doing here is we're not saving. Basically, anytime you change data in LaunchBox and BigBox, you have to run a save command, or it won't actually save it. So that's important to note here. I will add that in a little bit, but that's not quite there yet. But the next thing we need to get, and we're sort of running out of time here, so I need to rush through this a little bit, but I want to make sure this actually works. The next thing we need to do is update the image, basically, or update the visibilities. So what I'm going to do is add a method here so that I don't have to type this out 3 times. Private void update star rating images int star rating. All right? And then all I need to do is move all this stuff to there. And this is going to be switch star rating. And we're going to say this.update star rating images game.star rating. And then we can do the same thing from within here. That should do it. In theory, we should be able to change the star ratings on games right now. However, we are not saving any of the data. So if you were to close BigBox, it wouldn't keep your settings right now. So the last thing we need to do is simply call, what is it? It's plugin helper, I think. Plugin helper is a class that's provided from within broken.launchbox.plugins. So plugin helper.datamanager.save is all we need to call. And that will save the data for the change that we made right here, setting the star rating. All right? So in theory, that's all we need. The one thing that we haven't solved well is it's going to interfere with the index right now. So that would be the last thing to solve. Hopefully this works, though. Let's test it out. We'll open the folder. We'll grab our DLL. Put it in our plugins folder. And fire it up. Okay, go into computers, MS-DOS. Final Doom doesn't have a rating right now. Let's go to something that does have a rating. So Freddy Farkas. I'm going to press right, and although you can't see it, that means it should be focused on the star rating control. So if I press up, I did it backwards, but yeah, it works. So then if I've set that to 3 stars. I'm going to press left, and then if I go back down, it's no longer focused on the star rating control. So it works. Beautiful. Let's set something that doesn't have a star rating right now. Alexander. King's Quest 6. I'm going to rate it 4 stars. So I go over. I just basically need to reverse my up and down because it's confusing based on the fact that it's, you know, it's reversed in the presentation. So, but there's 4 stars. Go down, get away from it. So this is still obviously very rudimentary, but it works. I'm glad to see the input engine is mostly working. Now the trick that we're going to run into right now is if I pull up the index, I can't use right. Because right interferes with the star rating control, and going right always goes to the star rating control right now. So in order to handle that, what I really should do is the least thing I can do is if the index is open, send the input to the index, and then you can open the index with left, and once the index is open, you should be able to go and use the index instead of the star rating plugin. So that's kind of what I need to add yet. I don't think I have a good hook for that yet, though. So I'll be doing that here. Maybe I can get that in before the stream, maybe not before the stream ends. Maybe I should catch up on some comments here, though. A plugin that manages other UI plugins. That's cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah. We might work something like that in eventually, Neil. I've thought about that. But heck, if you want to build something, go for it. Could a plugin be used to access an image folder in order to say build a grid wall of images, 4 columns by 3 rows? Yes, that should be actually very doable. Yeah, tab order or directional tabs. The only tricky thing about that right now is we don't use the built-in. I mean, WPF is completely different than Windows Forms, and we don't use the built-in focus system in Big Box right now. Nothing is ever focused in Big Box, so we can't really use that. Which, I mean, we kind of built it from scratch, so I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope so, Liam. That's been working for a long time, so I hope Big Box doesn't crash, or LaunchBox doesn't crash when your controller turns off. If that's happening, let me know. I do remember that was an issue at one point, Liam, but that has been fixed for a very long time as far as I know. I mean, it hasn't come up in ages, so it has to be. Vissy, yes, you can import Uplay and Origin games simply because of the fact that Uplay and Origin both put items in your start menu when you install games. So then basically you just use the regular Windows import and it picks them up just fine. I think somebody might be working on that, Trevo. We gave up on that because Steam doesn't provide a good way to do that, where only importing installed Steam games. That's just not... Steam doesn't want you to be able to do that, it feels like. There's no good way to get at that information. And we did have a way to do it, but it was hacky and it didn't work very well. Half the time it wasn't right, so... Neil K is working on something. Temperamental. That's exactly what we were running into, Neil. Temperamental. That was the problem with it. Via plugin. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to build that, Neil, a lot of people will be really happy with you for it. If you figured out a way to do it. And let me know what you need and I'll get it to you. Add a glow around visible object? Yeah. In WPF, absolutely. Entirely custom tab system. Yeah, directional tabs don't exist anyway. It's a concept that doesn't exist in WPF. That's true. I don't know. I think it sort of does, but I haven't figured it out. Thank you, Trevo. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I haven't heard that in so long. I thought I fixed it at the time, but it may be some kind of weird system-specific issue. That has to be the case. Is I do the same thing, and I never have that issue when the wireless controllers turn off. So, like, honestly, I have never seen it, and I do that all the time, so I don't understand. But it must be something system-specific. That's all I can figure. There's a lot of problems with the Microsoft controller drivers, depending on the version that you have. So it may be that it's a driver issue and there's not much we can do, but I don't know. Yeah, that'll be very cool, Blue Sky, when that happens with Exo stuff. Exo, and Exo is working on that stuff, and I have provided him with pretty much everything he needed. So I think it's closer than you think. Nice, Trevor. I think you might surprise yourself, though. If you go back and you watch the beginning of this stream, you might be able to get started pretty quick. Additional sounds, probably, yeah. I might need to add some more hooks. I use C#, but you can use Visual Basic or C# for the plugins, Trevor. And if you're new to development, Visual Basic might be easier depending on what you're learning. I don't know. Sure, Liam. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I am going to let you go. Good progress. We do still have that quirk with the plugin. Obviously, I mean, I'm not showing focus or any of that stuff. So it needs a lot of cleanup, but at least, I mean, it gets you started showing what you can do. And hopefully you guys can get started with plugins and be off. Like I said, if you are working on a plugin and you need a particular feature, you need something that's not there, please do PM me. All this week, I'm going to be heavily focused on getting everything you guys need in there for the plugins. That is one of my focuses this week. The other focus is back to some of the video issues on the themes, so we can definitely get Critical Sid's new version of Critical Zone out this week. So that's another one. But that's basically my whole goal for this week, is just to focus on the themes and focus on the plugin system. So I want to get the plugin system as fleshed out as we possibly can. But thank you guys so much. It's been a great stream, other than my, issues trying to get the stupid images to display. But I'm glad we got to the end where we actually made a functional plugin here. So thank you all very much, and I will see you guys on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. PST. Take it easy, everybody.